What is going on, guys? It's your boy BobDude16 and I want to welcome you to the only second time I'm doing a Q&A on my video. So basically it dawned on me that last time I did a Q&A I had been streaming for a while but not very long, and now we're in 2021. Obviously current life situation is very bad, as everyone will know, with the virus and lockdowns and everyone's being depleted. I decided that I'd use the opportunity to turn this frown upside down and do a Q&A with my viewers from my stream at twitch.tv/BobDude16. Like I said, the last time I did this was around 2016, so a lot of questions that I've got may be repeated from them, but it's different outcomes. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the Q&A. Also, just to point out, I'm not the best editor or anything like that, so there's not going to be any fancy graphics. I can't get the questions on stream or anything like that, so apologies. Anyways, into the questions. Like I said, from my viewers. If you want to ask me questions, come to the stream. Question number one, in no particular order, I've just got them written down, there's no numbers, is what made me become a streamer in the first place? Now, this is a question that I've been asked quite a lot, and I don't just mean in like the Q&A we did in 2016, I mean as a streamer I get asked what made me become a streamer, because a lot of upcoming streamers will come in the stream and ask me that very same question. So in answer to the question, I first became a streamer purely because I was one of the first people in my friendship group to get a PlayStation 4. So when that happened, all the people that had PS3 obviously wanted to see what gameplay was like on PS4. One of my mates suggested that there was a way to go live to show your gameplay. Now, I have been on Twitch for well over 10 years, but it hasn't been Twitch. It used to be Justin TV, which was a streaming broadcast software. But yeah, so anyways, long story cut short, in order for them to see the gameplay, I went live on Twitch. So my first ever game, which is going to be recovered again in another question later on, but the first game that you'll see on my YouTube is the first stream I ever did, and that was Call of Duty Black Ops 3, the beta. So basically I just went live, and at first didn't really have anyone in. Then a couple of my friends came in. Obviously, with respect, their Twitch accounts were different to their names, so it was quite difficult to work out who was who, but once you figure it out, it's fine. Yeah, so the real reason I became a streamer was purely because I wanted to show my friends how much better the gameplay on next gen was compared to PS3. So that is the answer to that. My first game that I remember playing, this is another question, as I say, I'm just going through the list randomly. First game I remember playing from my early childhood was either Tomb Raider with the butler, who I can't remember his name, but the butler, or it was Excalibur. Now, Excalibur was one of my favourite games growing up. The thing that sticks in my head, and I don't know if anyone ever played Excalibur, I believe it was a PlayStation 1 game, so anyone that's not been in that generation won't have heard of it, and it may not have even realised it existed. But basically, Excalibur was this awesome game where you played as this girl, I don't know her name, can't tell you anything about it, but she had this long, like, blade, and she could defend or attack, and you were in a cave that was literally massive, and there was loads of doors and puzzles and stuff. And the thing that sticks in my mind about this game is there was one mission where you had to get this guy at a bar a drink. So you go speak to him, you interact with him, and then he keeps saying, "Oh, you, come here, over here now." And he talks to you and he goes, "I need a drink." And you get like little responses that you click, and one of them's like, get him a drink. And you have to go in deep into this cave. And there are these, like, I don't know what enemies you want to call them, but these are these big guys that also had shield and a sword. So as you're trying to attack them, they're blocking and you're getting hit, and there's about 3 of them in this cave, and you've got to take them down. I believe square was like a light melee and triangle was your strong melee, but like games back then didn't really do the whole like stamina bar and not being able to like hit and then you have to wait because you can't use your specials. games back then were more focused on the fun aspect, I guess you could say, but who am I to judge? But yeah, so earliest memory of a video game is Excalibur. It was one of my favourite games. But the other one I remember, and obviously I believe there's some remasters, is Silent Hill. Silent Hill, I'll get into why I'm bringing this up, because it goes into this next question, which is, have you ever played a game that made you stop playing because it was too scary? Silent freaking Hill. Silent Hill, when I was a kid, I don't know what age I was, but Silent Hill was one of the most scariest games. Especially if you guys have played Dead by Daylight now, there is actually a map on there that is like the school. That school on Silent Hill was one of the scariest things, because as you're walking through it, you get music, which is, alright, not that scary, but then the music will get louder as you get closer to, like, either zombies, gargoyles, bats, whatever the hell the thing was that was in there. And obviously on Silent Hill, you had a gun, you had a flashlight, you had that little, which was the sound of you lifting up your map every 5 seconds. That little sound effect stuck with me throughout my whole childhood. The little, as you're lifting up your map to see where the hell you are. So yeah, Silent Hill is the game that made me actually stop playing, because I got too scared. Recently, there's not really been too many scary games that I've played. Maybe we can look at doing that more on stream, if you guys want to have a laugh. Anyways, so that is question number 4. So, what has been a game that you've thought that you wouldn't enjoy, but you've ended up enjoying? Now, I've actually got a few little games that I've downloaded off, the PlayStation Plus, because if you guys have PlayStation, not sure who's watching, but if you guys have PlayStation, you get PlayStation Plus games every month. Now, 9 times out of 10, these are hit and miss. I've never been one to judge by a cover. I will download it, give it a good half-hour gameplay, and then judge whether I like it or not. But one of the games that I downloaded, and I thought, I'm not going to really get into this. It's really hard to get into, and I'm not going to really enjoy it. And I ended up playing it every day. Was one of the PlayStation Plus games, which was basically, it was a point and click game, and I can't actually remember the name of it off the top of my head. Which is, oh no, I remember it. Yeah, Broken Age. That's it. I think it was called Broken Age, something like that. It's a point and click game, anyways. You have to help there's loads of different scenarios for it, and obviously it plays into account. And basically, there's a giant monster that attacks these women that are dressed in these funny outfits, and you have to like make it so the other one gets attacked. So you pick. Anyways, long story cut short, I love point and click games, but I get frustrated with them quite easily. I can't lie. Like back in the day, I used to play Monkey Island. I used to have to get up guides. I used to have to go to my local game store, which was about half an hour away from where I lived, and buy a book. Which used to, nowadays you got the internet, but back in the day you used to get like strategy guides in books. Anyways, so yeah, Broken Age. When I first played it, I did get frustrated with it, but once I completed it, I carried on playing it, and I got really addicted to it. And so yeah, another one that I played that I didn't think I would enjoy was, to be fair, like some of the games that I've played over the years, from your Call of Duties to your GTAs and things like that, like San Andreas, Vice City, all of those. To be fair, like some of those games I didn't think I'd enjoy. Like I remember playing Vice City for the first time. Obviously, it's an 18, so you shouldn't really play in it when I used to play it. But hey ho, we all had parents that just said, "Oh yeah, go and have a game." Keeps you quiet, keep the kid happy for a couple of hours. Yeah. Anyways, Vice City, like the thing that I found enjoyable the most wasn't the storyline. It was the Demolition Derby and the Sanchez dirt bike arena. I didn't even enjoy the campaign, to be honest. I just enjoyed that part. Anyways, moving swiftly on. What is the worst game that you've played? Recently, Greedfall. Sorry to hate on anyone that loves that game, but I played it on stream, and not only was I falling asleep because I just couldn't get into it, I just didn't enjoy the campaign at all. So no hatred towards the developers or anything, but for me it wasn't my cup of tea at all. So Greedfall, I wouldn't say like this game that I'm about to say, I wouldn't say it's the worst game because it's a bad game, But again, with Greedfall, it just did not hit my cup of tea, and that is The Division. I used to get really into it, but then the whole aspect of as your player gets like the higher levels. So say you're like level 8, you're facing level 8 like people on the streets, which is fine. But as soon as you hit the higher levels, they've got better weapons, and unless you've upgraded, you are screwed. And I just like, and also if you join a friend that say like they're level 17, you're level 8, you're not facing level 8 anymore. You're facing level 17. And your guns are doing like 200 damage, whereas your mates is doing like 500 damage. So yeah, I didn't really like Division. I might try and get back into Division 2, because 2 was better than 1 in my opinion. But yeah, so Division 2 and Greedfall fit those categories. So moving swiftly on from video games, we got a question about my streaming and YouTube. And the question goes, have you ever streamed on YouTube, and would you do it in the future? Now, we're going to break this down into 2 little parts. Yes, I have streamed on YouTube. I did 3 or 4 streams on YouTube that you guys can see on my YouTube channel. One of them was I was checking out a Fortnite update with my mate. So it was me and my mate playing Fortnite. Honestly, I'll cut the story there. I'll tell you that in a minute. But the other time I did it was FIFA 18 or 19, whichever one had the Alex Hunter storyline. I streamed that on there. It got a load of good views. I got some good comments in that stream as well. So yeah, that was fun. But with the Fortnite one, I literally just got straight up abused, and I got to the point I was like, nah, screw YouTube streaming. Like, YouTube streaming, Twitch streaming is 2 different things. Like, yes, you can moderate a chat like you can on Twitch, but you can't really stop people from doing other stuff. Like, if they have multiple YouTube accounts, you can't stop that. So yeah, that's my thing about YouTube streaming. So no, I don't think I'll ever go back to doing YouTube streaming. I'm going to purely stick to Twitch, unless I'm going to do like, I don't know, unless it's a charity stream maybe. But even then, I'll do it on Twitch and upload the whole video. Moving swiftly on then, I've got a fun question here, and I'm going to put it to you guys in the chat that read this, or the comments, whatever. See, I'm too used to streaming, I say chat. Anyways, moving on. Would you give up video games to, right now, get £500,000 in cash? 500 grand. See, this one I've had to like prep and talk about. There's pros and cons of that. Video games is not life. Like, there's so much you can buy in real life that's not a video game. But at the same time, me thinking that, the first thought that came into my head was a PS5, upgrade my PC setup, upgrade the setups, get a green screen, all that stuff. And what is all that? That's all for video games. So I couldn't take the cash, because I'd still be wanting to play video games. So for me, I'm going to have to say I could never give up video games. Like I said earlier in the video, we've been gaming since like 4 or 5 years old. So no, I don't think I'd ever be able to give up video games. I could give up video games to watch a movie or something for like an hour, but then I'm straight back on your FIFA, straight back on your COD, straight back to streaming on Twitch, whatever it is. I don't think I'll be able to give up video games. So in answer to that, you're going to have to keep that cash and give it to someone else. Alright, next question. This one is probably the hardest question. It's not last, there are a few more, but this is one that is going to take me a while to tell you guys. What motivates you when you have no viewers or low viewers and no active chat? This one really hits home, because I will be 100% honest with you, as I have always been. It is honestly heartbreaking when you are sat there for 3-4 hours and the only thing that's typed in chat is a bot. It is horrible. I will not sit here and say, yeah, I'm fine with that, I will stream for 27 hours or whatever with no one typing in chat. Nah. Like, it is so hard. The thing that motivates me is, honestly, I feel that whether they're being registered as a viewer or not, there is still one of my mates or someone that is lurking in that stream. There will be someone that's just not typing. That's what motivates me personally. Like, I do not, right, this is moving away, but I don't have my view account on stream. The only people that can see my view account are when you guys come into my stream and you see it at the bottom, or see it wherever it's located. I don't know, I think it's at the bottom. That is it. I don't have viewer count on stream. I turned it off. There is a setting in Streamlabs, I believe, or something that I've done. I cannot see it anymore. So I don't have the demotivation that way because I don't know if people are watching. How I now stream, just to reiterate what motivates me and how I still stream knowing that, is the minute that someone types in chat, boom, they get a welcome, they get made welcome, you know, everything that I can do to make them want to stay in the stream. I've had people that type one word in chat, whether it's hello or an emote or whatever, and then nothing for the whole chat. I've had that before. But at the end of the day, like, I'd rather have someone that comes in and says, I've got work to do, or I'll be alright, you know, I'm going to leave a tab open. That's what I do for streamers as well. Like, I leave tabs open for streamers, so even when even when they're not streaming, they've got me as a viewer. Like, 99% of streamers say to me, I saw you in my stream even when I wasn't live, and it's like, yeah, I'm always in your channel. I literally have about 10 tabs open of streamers that I watch constantly. Obviously, by doing that, I do have to click refresh when they do go live, otherwise I see the chat moving and I don't see the stream, but they will always have me as a viewer, and I hope that at some point I'll be able to have that. Like I say, I never look at the viewer list either, so I never know if that's happening or not. I refuse to, what I call out people. So I refuse to look at their stream and go, oh, Johnny1234, welcome into the stream. They haven't typed anything. They're just sat there doing whatever they're doing. They haven't typed. That is the most off-putting thing. Let me be real here. That is the most off-putting thing you could do as a streamer. I know that this is what motivates me, but I just want to get this little message out there in this Q&A as well. The thing that I feel streamers not struggle with, but their own downfall is when they, as soon as they look at that viewer list and say, for example, if I'm lurking in the stream and you go, have a quick look, and it's like, oh, Bob, dude, it's nice to see you lurking. It's like, I'm kind of just sat here chilling, mate. I'm sort of watching your stream, but I'm kind of doing my own thing. Like, I might be doing a uni assignment or something. Anyways, as soon as I hear that, it's like, oh. Because then it kind of like, they know you're there now, so that kind of means that you kind of feel obliged to type in chat even though you didn't want to. Because then it's kind of like, oh, they know I'm here, but I'm not typing. So, yeah, anyways. So what motivates me is literally with the low viewers, the active chat is what I'll focus on. The viewer count I don't see, so that doesn't demotivate me. The active chat, if the chat's not active, I myself do go through a phase of, what's the freaking point of this? What is the point of me sitting here for 2 hours or whatever it is a day and no one's typed in chat? So sometimes, yeah, I admit, I will end the stream. I will just go, right guys, I'll call it there. And then sometimes out of nowhere, someone's like, oh, don't do that, I was enjoying the stream. And you're like, oh, I didn't even know you were there. That's when it's fine. But, you know, anyway, so to stay motivated, it's not easy. I'll be honest with you. I do find it difficult. It's one of the things I struggle with. Even motivation to stream sometimes. But, yeah. So in answer to that, not having low viewer count don't bother me. It's the active chat that does bother me. What is my current setup? This is a fantastic question. Because my current setup links into the question I also got asked by another person, which is, what was your setup? So we'll go into the what was, and we'll go into the what is. I'm just going to ditch this hat. It's done my head in. I don't care. My hair's a mess. Who cares? Right. So, the what is and the what was. The what was is on my YouTube, but I will go a little bit into it. I used to stream purely using a Lenovo laptop, which was cheap and was just so I could read the chat, and direct through my PlayStation. That was it. The monitors that I've got, that I'll go into details in a bit, I used to have a Bush TV, which was a 50-inch widescreen TV on my floor, and I would not be sat here, I'd be sat behind where you guys can't see, which is like an armchair that you guys can see in my setup tour that was ages and ages and ages and ages and ages ago. Anyways, I decided, through watching a lot of streamers that I used to watch and still watch today, that they're sitting in gaming chairs, they got monitors, they can read chat, they can stream their gameplay. That was where I wanted to go. So what I did was I saved up my money and I bought a PC pre-built for £425. off Amazon, I think it was. Anyways, it arrived. It was fine. I didn't have to build it. I just had to plug all the wires in. It was fine. I also had a cheap monitor, which I still have today. But yeah. So once I plugged it all in and I set up everything, obviously I could read the chat. That was fine. The next stage is what wasn't fine. I then bought my capture card. My first ever capture card was just a normal Elgato. It wasn't even a HD 60 or anything like that. It was just an Elgato. Cheap. Well, not cheap, but the first Elgato that got released, basically. And that was for the PS3. So I connected it from the PS3 to the PC. Monitors, monitor set up, everything. I had no picture. I troubleshooted it, and I set in Google, I put all my specs of my PC and stuff like that, and it basically turned out to say that my PC wasn't strong enough. So this £420 PC that I just spent all that money on wasn't good enough for streaming. So what I did next was I saved up more money, and I ended up doing something that I wouldn't advise, but you guys live your own lives. I ended up doing a buy now pay later scheme with PC World, where I bought their PC for near enough £2,000. I know, very expensive, but we'll get into that later. I bought their monitor as well, so that's where the total comes in. And obviously I took home the PC for free, but essentially buy now pay later as you pay installments. So I was paying £75 a month for the next 3 years. But anyways, you don't need to know about that. Point I'm making is that I went from a £420 PC to nearly a £2,000 setup. I did buy the Blue Snowball with the old PC, so I still had that. But the only thing that I was doing, I could not do the PS4, so I was purely playing Deceit, which is a free PC game. Well, it wasn't free back then, but it's now free on Steam, so I was playing that. So when I did streaming, that was all I could play was PC games. I couldn't even attempt to play the PS4. If I needed to play PS4, I had to go straight back down to the TV. So we had that. Moving into 2021, where we are now, I've paid off the PC. I've got an Omen gaming PC that you might have seen pros use for like Overwatch and CSGO and stuff in adverts. I bought one of those. I've got an NOC 20HDP monitor, which is my gaming monitor, and then I've just got a cheapo monitor to read the chat. So how my setup is now is pretty much NOC gaming monitor there, Blue Snowballs there, and that's where I read the chat. There you have it, guys. So that is the Q&A. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I appreciate that it's long-winded, and I appreciate that sometimes I may have gone a bit off topic, but sometimes I just feel like a discussion's included in it. But anyways, guys, if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'll definitely read them when I have the chance. If you guys want to see me live, feel free to head to twitch.tv/BobDude16, where I will be. And if you guys have any more questions and you don't want to put them there, other than that, guys, have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe, stay awesome, and don't let lockdown get to you. Peace.